So, in the last few years, something about software development has changed, and not a lot of people have adjusted to it. It's not that coding is dead, it's just that the workflow is changing. And this video isn't a prediction, it's a description of what's already happening in the world. And if you're learning how to code, you're entering a world where you can just describe what you want, generate a working starting point, and just iterate from there. And today, I'm just kinda explain what I mean by vibe coding, what it's good for, and what it's risky for. And I'm also gonna share to you a beginner-safe workflow that can help you learn and build. So let's just define first what vibe coding is. So vibe coding is just a casual term that they use, but the idea is very simple. Instead of starting with syntax and building slowly, you're just gonna start with intent. You describe the product you want, the behaviors you need, edge cases, constraints, and AI just helps you generate the code and run it immediately. But the key point is verification. So for beginners, the main pain point are rarely typing code. It's usually not knowing what to do next. It's the debugging confusion, and when you are continuously doing it and it's about the losing the momentum. So AI is reducing it, and it's like giving you this an initial draft of a project that faster than a beginner can. So like for example, let's use a very simple example, the study timer or Pomodoro timer web application. So you're just gonna spit out all of the requirements. You're just gonna tell your AI what the AI want to do. So you're just gonna list down that Pomodoro timer has like 25 minute of work and 5 minute of break. You can also throw it a simple start, pause, and reset button, or maybe a progress bar of the time. You can also throw in some sound there. You can save preferences if you like for example, you can modify it to make it instead of 25.5 is, let's say, 45.15, those kind of stuff. So when you are a beginner, the traditional way of it is you're gonna go over the internet and watch how it works. You go on YouTube, internet, Stack Overflow. It's just tutorial hacking. So the newer route now is you're just gonna tell the AI what you wanna do, and it will generate you a minimal setup that you can modify. Like for example, something like this. Build a simple study timer web application. Include Pomodoro modes like start, pause, reset, progress bar, sound toggle, local save settings. Keep code beginner friendly. Start with minimal version first, then let's just improve it later. Then you can just run it immediately. Because the fastest way to learn is to connect what you asked for, what you got, and what actually happens when you execute it. But this is important. This is where beginners can get misled. It may look correct, but it will fail on edge cases. And if you don't understand what the AI generated, the structures, you don't know where to fix the problems. And the risk number 3 is, so you can constrain AI because AI can refactor, AI can touch and modify your code more than you intended. So now, the core skills, the skills that we need to learn is not about memorization anymore. It's more about writing a clear specs or a prompt or a plan, testing output, and you need to control the changes. So I'm gonna give you an example of workflow that you can control. So the step 1, so you just need to create a plan or write a spec before you start prompting. Like for example, you can use goals, constraints, features, edge cases, and then the done definition. So like for example, this is an example of a good spec. So first, you gotta define your goal. Your goal is to create a study timer. And then for the features, you can add it 25.5 timer, start, pause, reset, settings, sound. And for the constraints, it must be accurate with time tracking. It should be accurate with pause, resume, and it must be reliable with that. And you can say it is done if it can complete 25 to 5 cycle, the settings persist, and it can start and resume. So the step 2 of vibe coding is tell AI to generate the small version of it. Ask for minimal first. Make it as narrow as possible and don't ask for like a polished and full-blown application at first. Most of the time, it's not gonna get whatever you want. And the third step, whenever it changes of the AI, you must run it. You must test it and run it. And the step 4 is you should always ask the AI what has changed. Just ask what's the purpose of what it changed and what could break and why. And the next step is, this important one, is to create a checklist, a task checklist. Like for example, with the functionality start, pause, resume, reset, switch mode, refresh, those kind of stuff. So you must be specific with AI and constrain the AI edits, like only change the timer logic, do not refactor the UI. So you need to be specific with AI. If you are learning now, this is important. Do not avoid fundamentals. Just learn them in a better order. So you need to prioritize 1. Simple debugging, reading errors, logs, state, the data flow, how this web works really in a higher level, and you should be good at organizing your code into smaller pieces, and they must be understandable. Because AI assisted workflow, you as a developer, your value is your ability to define the right problem, evaluate the output. So yeah, coding isn't disappearing. I don't think coding will disappear, but the process is just the main thing that we need to be aware of. It's just a shifting from typing everything to direct verification. And if you're a beginner, this might be a huge advantage. If you just stay about testing and understanding, you may be comfortable with this AI assisted coding.